Okay, this is a video that's going to explain how to trade the 5-minute binaries with the setup that I have created. So when you log on to your Thinkorswim platform, and this is for those who are new to Thinkorswim and also those who probably haven't used Thinkorswim in quite a while. So I'm just showing you how to log back in just for just for like a refresher. So when you log into your Thinkorswim, your platform is going to look very similar to this. If you are brand new to Thinkorswim, what's in the middle here may look a little bit different. I can't capture that because I'm not new to Thinkorswim, so I couldn't get that part back. But generally what you're going to do is this little window pane here to the left. You want to just click over the bottom right here to slide this over. So that'll disappear. And whatever this part of your screen looks like, you just want to click on charts. If you click on charts, you're probably still going to see a blank screen. You want to go over here to the right under where it says on demand. Click just under there and you'll see a drop down box. And the one you're looking for is going to say Forex 5-minute. Some of you may only see Forex 5-minute. Depending on if you've worked with me before, you may have other chart setups down there. But the one you're looking for is the Forex 5-minute. So you just want to click it. And it's pops up. That's going to be your alert. So all you have to do is just click on the little plus sign on each box to open up the chart so that you can see everything. I typically click it about 3 times, just the right size. Now for this one, your plus sign is going to be behind this tab. All you have to do is slide this over just a little bit. Here's your plus sign. I click it and then I just slide it right back. All right. That's that. Now these are your 7 currency pairs. You have the Aussie USD, the Euro USD, GBP USD, USD JPY, EUR JPY, GBP JPY, USD JPY. On your Nadex form, when you go to trade the 5-minute binaries, you're looking here. You click on 5-minute, you click on Forex. Here's all 7 currency pairs. I put them in the same order on your Thinkorswim platform that they are on your Nadex platform to make it easier. All right, now I'm going to explain. I'm going to go to where I set it up that you just see one currency pair. So you'll see about 2 hours worth of candles here, so that you can see a bigger screen of what's going on with these charts. And then we'll go look at the smaller version where you're going to see 7 pairs at a time. And like I said, I'm going to try to talk it through because you're going to be hearing the ringing sound because it's going to continue to go off, which means not necessarily that it's time to take a trade, but that it's time to look and see if a trade is available. So the first thing, and that's because, alrighty. So the first thing I want to show, or I want to talk about, is since these are 5-minute trades, each of these is called a candle. Each candle is worth 1 minute in time frame. So because of this, when you have a 1-minute candle, 5 of these candles is going to make up one full trade. Okay, so every minute, this platform is going to move one to the left and a new candle is going to appear. So right now it is 4:15 Eastern time, and in about 12 seconds it's going to be 4:16. You're going to see the candles move to the right. So we'll just wait for a few seconds for that to happen. If you just watch it, the platform is going to shift in about 1 second. And as you can see, it shifted. All right. You're hearing the, but that's not for this particular platform. That is for here. I'll explain to you in a little bit, but that's why you're hearing the alert, but you're not seeing anything on this one because it's not for this particular one. All right, so each candle is 1 minute long, and each is 1, 2, 3. There's 4 indicators on this entire chart. There's a 5-minute trend, which is here, which is anything with the arrow, with the lines pointing down. That's one indicator. And whenever this is red here, this will be red here. Whenever it's green here, when it was going active back at 2 o'clock in the morning, this was green here. So the reason why I put the labels on is just to make it easier for you to see what's exactly going on these charts. So that's one indicator. This is the indicator, and this is the label that matches the indicator. Here's another indicator. This is basically checking the strength of the trend. And here's the third indicator is checking the strength of the trend. Now these particular 3, this one, and this one, even though the candles are 1 minute long, these particular 3 indicators thinks that they're on a 5-minute time frame, which basically means these are called multi-time frame indicators. And that actually is what makes this particular setup as powerful as it is. So because they think they're on a 5-minute time frame, but the charts are actually 1 minute long, it kind of gives you a very good overview at the beginning of every 5 minutes of what's going to happen within the 5-minute time frame. This one down here is another trend strength, but it's only measured on the 1 minute time frame as well. It's not measured on the 5-minute time frame, but it doesn't matter. It's giving you the trend strength as well. But the alerts that you're going to hear are based upon this time frame, this indicator and this indicator. So there's only going to be 2 alerts. And what's going to happen is anytime either this indicator or this indicator turns red or green, if it switches from red to green or green to red, you're going to see the background turn whichever color it switches to, and the alert's going to sound off. For example, let's look at this one here. Back at 2 o'clock in the morning, both of these indicators hit at the same time and they turn green. You can tell right here at exactly 2 o'clock. And at the very same time, this one turned from red to green as well. So when the indicator went off, the background was green and all 3 of these turned green. So your background's green and it matched up with all of these. This one, however, had turned green at 1:55. But you didn't hear an alert on it. You're only going to hear an alert when it happens with one of these 2. But what you need when you hear the alert is when you see the green background, the only thing you want to make sure of is that this is green, this is green, this is green, and this is green. When that happens, you want to get in the trade. You take the trade here at 2 o'clock. And as you can see, from 2 o'clock to 2:05, the market went up. Up here. And so at 5 after, the candle was above this candle, which means that the trade won. All right. Again, what happened is here at 2:50, the background turned green because of this trend strength, the second trend strength indicator. It turned green. This one never turned red again. So, well, actually, let me go back. At 2:39 or 2:40, excuse me, this one turned red. When this turned red, this one was still green. This one was red as well. And this one up here was still green. So at this point, the indicator alert, the trend label was red here, or excuse me, this one was green. This one was green. This one was red, and this one was red. So because they didn't all match, you would not get in the trade. If you had got in the trade because the background turned red, the trade actually still would have won. Let me see here. Nope. 1, 2. Yeah, you would have got in the trade here. And you would have did a sell because it would have been red. They would have won, but just barely. It would have been really, really close. I wouldn't have gotten in the trade, though, because with this setup, everything is absolute. So there's no guesswork. You need everything to line up before you enter the trade. If it doesn't line up, you do not enter the trade. So I would not have gotten in this trade. It would have won, but just barely. I wouldn't have gotten in the trade. So I'll delete that one. So because it turned red at this point at 250, it turned green again. When this turned green, you can clearly see this also was green because you see it here. This never turned red in the first place, so it was still green from the first time. This one was also green as well. I would have gotten in this trade right here at 250. And for 5, see here, 250, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The market was above, so this trade would have won. The next time the alert went off would have been here at 355. You would have gotten in the trade right here. Counted 5 candles because everything was red. And as you can see, the market was lower here than it was when you entered the trade here. So the trade was a winner. So you would have sold it and it was a winner. And that's basically it. As long as you alert and see the background change color, everything matches the colors of the background, either all red or all green. If it's all red, you sell. If it's all green, you buy. And it really is that simple. You can deviate if you want to. I do not do it. I don't trust it. I don't trade with it. I just don't do it. So it's easier just to follow the rules. And the next time you're going to get in this trade, possibly going to be a buy when all of these turns green. I don't know how long it's going to take, but I just want to explain this is 3 trades here within a 2-hour period. You're going to get about 1 trade per hour for each currency pair. Sometimes you'll see 2 trades on some of the currency pairs. So it's safe to assume you're going to get at least 7 trades in an hour, 1 for each currency pair, and probably 3 of the currency pairs during that hour and maybe get 2 trades. So I like to roughly say you'll get about 10 trades per hour. Now, your charts are going to look like this. So you're going to see all 7 pairs. Just to show you here, point, all of them had turned red. This one had turned red back at 415, but the rest of them weren't. So you would have gotten this trade right here at 420 at this point. And the trade ended at 425. And there you go. The trade won. This one, same thing, 420. And this is going to be close, but it is going to win. It looks like it's up, and it did. So let's see if it goes back down. It's going back down. This one would have been really close. Now, when I say it would have been close, that means that if it was a 50-50, if you got in the trade right where the market was at this point, it would have gone, the trade would have just barely won. Now, the trades that we take are going to be just in the money. So that means that instead of the market being here, the market's going to be a little bit higher here because we're getting in the trade at a $40 profit and a $60 risk. So you're still going to have a little bit of leeway in this situation where when it looks like it barely won, you actually would have won. You'd have more room. So, and you'll see that as you are taking the trades. When you hear the alert go off at the top of the 5-minute period, the alert is going to go off every minute for 5 minutes because it thinks it's on a 5-minute time frame. All right. The other thing that I want to discuss aside from the charts, because this is all pretty self-explanatory. I'm trying to see another area. Like, okay, so right here, all of these turn red, but this one was still green at the time, so I would not have gotten it. So you're going to miss this trade all the way around. You're going to wait until they turn green and you're going to take a buy. So like I said, the key is at every point that you hear the alert, just make sure everything lines up in either all red or all green. It's where you're going to buy or you're going to sell. If you had gotten a trade here, it would have won. But again, I don't like to deviate from the situation because you're taking more of a risk of whether or not you're going to win. So that's where it is with the charts. As far as it concerns Nadex, I just want to talk to you quickly about the pricing situation. So let's say you see the alert on the GBP JPY. You want to go over to Nadex. You click the drop down. Here's your 5-minute time frame. When you first open the 5-minute period, the only one you're going to look for is the one in the middle. These are the only two you want to trade. If you're going to take a sell, you go in the bid column. If you're going to take a buy, you go into the offer column. I don't look at these two, the bottom two, or the bottom four at all. I'm going strictly with the middle strike price. If you're selling, you want the middle strike price here to be anywhere from roughly $35 to $45. Sometimes you can go as low as $30. I don't like to do that because I don't like to risk. The lower the profit amount, the higher your risk is going to be. So if you get in here at $30, you're going to be risking $70 because everything totals either 0 or 100. I like to keep it between 35 and 45. If you're buying, this is not your profit amount. This is actually your risk amount. So you want to get in anywhere between 55 and 65, where your profit is still going to be 35 and 45. So this is your profit amount when you're selling, and you want to take that amount, subtract it from 100 to get your risk. This is your risk amount, and you want to take that amount, subtract it from 100 to get your profit. So if you're selling, you're 35 to 45. If you're buying, you're 45 to 55. This trade actually was a losing trade, it looks like. Looking at the actual charts, I don't think it's one that Nadex would have told you to get in. Yeah, Nadex told you to get, or excuse me, Thinkorswim told you to get in here, which would have been the 5-minute period before. That's the only one you want to get in. You don't want to get in anything after that. You want to wait until you get the alert to buy it. So you're going to wait the next time around. It could take 30 minutes. It can take an hour. Whatever the case, you have all 7. So between the 7 pairs, you're going to get around 7 to 10 trade opportunities in 1 hour. Okay, so we're going to wait for the next 5-minute time frame so you can see how it rolls over again. And the time clock starts over with the 5-minute period. And this trade actually lost on a sell, but it won on a buy. It's going to do one or the other. If it loses on a sell, it's going to win on a buy. The problem is you don't know which one is going to do, so you want to wait till you get the alert to try to determine which one you are going to take. And that's pretty much how the charts work. I'm going to wait until the end of this period to see if there's an alert that goes off so that we can see if we can take a trade, so I can show you how to enter the trade. All right. And then I'll also discuss the best times to take these trades. The market is open from Sunday at 5 o'clock Eastern time, around the clock, till Friday at 3 o'clock Eastern time. It closes every day for an hour from 4 to 5 o'clock. Let's see if we get an alert. If you don't get it right at the top of the hour, at the top of the 5-minute period, you're probably not going to get it. All the candles move. There was no alert. There won't be one for this time period. All right, back to the best time to trade. And here we go. If I had gotten a sell alert, I would have taken this, here. It's between 35 and 45. I would have got in here. Let's see. Aussie USD, I would not have gotten in this trade even if I would have gotten an alert, because the profit is only $15. That means you're risking $85 to make $15. I don't suggest you ever do that. Number one, when the market opens up and it's this low, that means that it's moving really, really fast. And if it's moving that fast, chances are it can turn around, reverse, and go just as fast in the opposite direction. That is something that I've learned through trial and error. So when it gets in the $35 to $45 time frame as far as the profit, that means that it is actually pretty steady, and it's going to be steady throughout the trade. I don't take trades with either like with this kind of a profit that's too low, or if it's a buy, if it's anywhere after $80, $85, which is your risk, meaning you're going to profit $15 or $20. On the flip side, I wouldn't take that either. All right. And back to the time frames that it's okay to trade. I have found that the best time to trade is on the Asian session, anytime after about 7 o'clock, or even after the market reopens at 6 o'clock, but I usually try to wait till 7 o'clock Eastern time. I'll wait for that. And then you can trade the Euro session and the Euro session and the US session. Those are fine, but the market just moves really quickly. They still end up winning. It's just that sometimes they go out of the money, and you'll be looking at a high profit loss before it goes back in the money to win the trade. And if you are a little edgy with trading, you tend to get out of the trade to cut your losses because you see the profit loss is kind of on a high loss. So you'll get out of the trade as opposed to just standing in the trade and waiting for it to win. So if you want a steady trading session, I think the Asian session is the best. It's the slowest session. You typically go in the trade winning, and it should sit there winning throughout the time frame. That's pretty much all I wanted to explain. Most of you are trading in my trade room already as well. So you already know that when you see a profit loss in the negative, it doesn't mean that the trade is losing. It just means that at that point, if you get out of the trade, that would be your loss for the trade. What you're looking for is when you take a sell, you want the indicative index to be lower, because this is the current market price, than the contract price that you chose, which is going to be this one. If you're looking for a buy, like in this case, you want the indicative index to be higher than the strike price that you chose over here. And again, it's pretty simple. It might look a little complicated if you're not used to working with charts, but in this case, so here's the indicator. This one did go off at 33 after, and that's because the market just shot up in this case. But I would not get in the trade because this is still red. Typically, that indicator goes off right at the 5-minute mark. Sometimes it goes off 2 minutes after, but if the market moves in a given time frame, it'll go off at 2 minutes or 3 minutes after, but I wouldn't take the trade anyway. So because you see how much it jumped, the pricing on this Aussie USD is not something that you're going to want to take anyway. Because the pricing is fine, the time frame is what I don't like. So you're at 71293. It is above the 7129, but it's moving so quickly, I would not enter the trade. I really only want to get in the trade at the top of the 5-minute because it's really shaky and there's only 2 minutes left in the trade. And you can see it is going down because it moved up so quickly. A lot of times it'll move down just quickly. So I don't enter those kind of trades. I only enter it when it's at the top of the 5-minute period and when the price range is from 35 to 45 if you're selling, and 55 to 65 if you're buying. If you have any questions, please feel free to send me a Telegram message or shoot me an email. My email address is youngcommerce@gmail.com. So I hope to hear from you soon and talk to you later. Bye.